Good morning, South Florida. Hello, world. This is Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, certified tax coach, live in the beautiful studios of WNMN, The Man. Yes, this is The Man. And we don't have the woman in the studio today, but I understand we have the woman, Linda V. Harris, my sister-in-law, on the phone. Linda, are you there?
Yes, sir. The woman is here. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Happy Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday weekend. Glad to be here. Another day in paradise, Robert.
Good. I thought I was going to see you today, but hey, I know you've been out and about, but I do see Brother Keith here, Brother Professor Keith here, loud and clear. Hey, Keith, how you doing?
Good morning, sir. How are you? And how are you, Sister Linda?
I am great, Professor Keith. I'm really good.
You know, Linda and I had been out for the first 2 weeks of the year, and I just want to just say thank you, Keith and Hyacinth. Man, y'all really sounded good. I listened to y'all, I think last week I was in Phoenix. I listened to half of the show because we're 2 hours behind in Phoenix, and man, y'all had a good time. Man, y'all was clicking, and boy, I tell you, man, Linda got a definitely a good backup. Linda and I, you and I got to be careful because Keith and Hyacinth are still the show, you know.
Well,
never will happen. Never will happen.
She says she cannot be replaced.
Man, you guys did a fantastic job. I really want to thank you.
But appreciate that. We had a great time.
You know, and that's why it's nothing better than a team. I tell people all the time, and you know, you can never reach your highest highs by yourself. I want to say that again. Those of y'all with egos and pride, you can try all you want to, but you can never reach your highest high alone. You can't. I agree. You know, as a matter of fact, as I was driving in, I was yesterday. I was driving in the office yesterday, and I've heard this song several times, but for some reason yesterday it hit me, and I said, this doesn't make a lot of sense. You ever heard Kurt Franklin's song, I don't want to love nobody but you, Lord?
Yes, I have.
You know, have you heard that, Linda? I don't want to love nobody. I don't want to love nobody but you.
Yes.
You heard that? Mm-hmm. I've heard that song so many times, but yesterday it caught my attention. I mean, it just really, and I said, isn't this amazing? The song says, I don't want to love nobody but you, Lord. Now, from my understanding, that's not what the scripture says.
Okay.
I mean, I think we in the world are hurt if we say we don't want to love nobody but you, Lord God. Because didn't it say love one another? Isn't our mission is to treat and love and help one another and love each other like I have loved you? Isn't it?
Well, I don't want to get too deep, but the deal is, you can't love just the Lord without loving all.
Right. But I think, a lot of people take things literal. And I listened to that song. I said, that doesn't make a lot of sense. That's very confusing. I would say our word of the day, that's very disconcerting.
All right now.
That is disconcerting. That's our word for the day.
I like that.
Yeah, that's very disconcerting. And right after the break, I'm going to explain, and we're going to look at the vocabulary. What does disconcerting mean? But I think, because a lot of people take things literally. And the reason why I'm saying that is because today's show, I want to talk about this whole misconception and paying off your house as being one of your number one goals, especially in retirement. And and people take that literal, and they don't understand. I'm not against paying off your home, your house, but I no more than I'm against, or no more than I no more than the song, I don't want to love nobody but you, Lord, is disconcerting.
It requires a little deeper investigation. And what it actually does is what it actually amplifies or demonstrates is a particular level of learning. Okay. So in other words, what you actually get whenever you're speaking with someone and whenever you're examining a concept is it demonstrates what level of learning that you happen to be in. It doesn't mean that there's not more to know. It's just that at this particular point in time, that's all that you do know.
And see, Keith, the reason why I'm bringing this up, because you have a lot of people that so-called love the Lord, go to church, and they mean as heck. They mean. They look at you like they don't love you. They don't care. They don't need you. You don't count. Only one to count is the Lord. You can go to church and they don't want to move over. Church is full. Scoot over, ma'am. You got a space. Your pocketbook is right there. Can you move your purse over so I can get this seat? She look at you like the wicked witch, the wicked witch of the Wizard of East. Oh, what was the wicked witch of the West or East? Wizard of Oz.
Well, if it's wicked witch, it really doesn't matter what direction it came from.
The wicked witch. She look at you like the wicked witch in the Wizard of Oz. And man, move your purse so I can get the seat. I mean, so people take things literal, and they do that in terms of financial planning. They do that in terms of investment. They do that in terms of, and you can never reach your highest goals. Today, I want to talk about using the equity in your home wisely, because there is a misconception, and people take that literal, and it's causing a lot of pain and suffering. I don't think that God wants us to have that pain. We're supposed to be able to share.
Right.
Those of you all listening, for those of you all who are tuning in, I'm Robert Henderson Jr. I'm a certified financial planner, certified tax coach. Linda V. Harris is my sister-in-law, business partner. She's also the co-host. He's calling in today. And Professor Keith, also is associate of Henderson Financial Group. I've been knowing him for over 20 years. He's also licensed. And he's a financial planner. He's licensed in insurance also. We're going to talk to you to try to get this whole year started for you to help you have a better and live a better life in terms of financial planning. Because a lot of people, Linda and Keith, are lost. They're taking things literally. They don't understand. They've been doing things of what they've been told, but they haven't been looking at it in this whole totality, looking at really what's the meaning. And a lot of people, Keith and Linda, they take things literal and they just do, go to school, get a house, pay off your house, work a job, and then retire to get Social Security. And I just think that whole myth and that whole program has made a whole lot of people unhappy. And that's not living your best life. I mean, I think that if you look outside and start thinking about what you've heard and what you're doing, I think that we'll have a better outcome.
Well, here is, Linda talks about it on one of the commercial announcements that we do when she says, if you take 100 people, so many are going to be average. So many are going to need help when they reach, quote unquote, the retirement age. And all those things just demonstrate what we got taught. I've said it before. A lot of folks, when you say retirement, think you're talking about a particular age that one reaches.
That's true.
And retirement has nothing to do with age. Retirement is when you actually have money that is enough to sustain your lifestyle. You actually retired.
That's right. You're done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Your cup is full, and you have enough, to ride out, hopefully for the rest of your life, whichever that is, or at least the next 30 years.
And so when you've got folk who are actually operating on that other paradigm and you try to show them something else, it goes against everything that they've been taught. So a lot of times we're not willing to give up the position we hold for a bigger position because we think where we're standing is in the truth.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have been programmed and they don't know what you're talking about, Keith. They don't understand because, we humans are very habit forming. I mean, we habitual people. Whether we have a bad habit or a good habit, it's really hard to overcome and change that habit.
Yeah.
And that has been a problem, people are asking me, Rob, what do you think about the market? What do you think about the Dow Jones Industrial Average? Listen, let me tell you something. Number 45 is this thing is he's laying this thing out beautifully. Because let me tell you something. I've heard of people who 4 years ago did not like Trump. They did not. They said they weren't going to even invest in the market. He's done a very good job in terms of steering growth. The corporations are making more money than they've ever made. Profits are huge. Right now, it's the beginning of corporate earnings season. Corporate earnings season mean it's when the corporations, businesses all over the United States have to tally. It's kind of like, I liken it to report card time when you were going to school, your kid going to school, and now it's time for the report cards to come out this quarter. And you want to make sure that little Johnny and little Sandra how well has he been performing? Well, they've been performing pretty well because someone in the White House, his whole directive is to create more employment and more economic growth, and that's why he was elected. He wasn't elected to have all of us get along. He wasn't elected to have, a little black and white and Spanish and people get along. He wasn't elected for that. He was elected to basically, a lot of people who put him in office is because they wanted more and they figured he was a businessman and he can help the economy. Now, the poor people in Kentucky and Ohio and a lot of these other places that rally, I don't know what's on their mind. It could be that poor people really love to idolize wealthy people. I mean, because the wealthy people right now, from the Kardashians, if they come out with a hairpin or whatever, the poor people are going to buy it because they want to be like Mike. They want to be like. So poor people, there's a study that you can really get poor people, to buy Louis Vuitton because they want to look like Prada and they want to look like Gucci, even though they don't have it. They'll take their welfare check, but they want to look like that. And that's a psychological study that has been done. And so therefore, when the rich get richer and the poor get poor, so you have a lot of people who are voting against their own interests and they're cheering against their own interests. And it's sad, but that's been happening since the beginning of time. So who are we to argue, right?
No question.
I mean, we can you think can you stop this? No, because people always want to have hope and they want to be there. Why do you think that people go and play the lottery? The poorest people are in the broke down casinos, Magic City Lounge, all that. You go there, and these people with cigarettes. I think they still smoking there, don't they?
In a lot of casinos, yes, indeed, you can.
They're in there with wheelchairs and canes and out of shape, and they smoking, and they scratching. They trying to win. They trying to get lucky. They're trying to get lucky because. This has been taking place a long time. The rich get richer and the poor, get poor. And let me tell you something. You have a lot of people, especially I'm amazed at how many people of color are switching sides saying, and even Mexicans. You got Mexicans saying, go Trump.
Oh, my God.
Go Trump.
While I build this wall to keep you out.
While I build this wall. This is a phenomenon. But,
he's gotten his message across. And one of his things, his mantras is, you may not like me, but look at your 401k. That's what he's got people saying now. Well, I don't trust him. I think he's this and that, but look at I'm making money, and that's very interesting. He's very clever.
Yeah, but Linda, think about it. When he says that, we're all benefiting because we are in the market. Now, if you're not in the market, most of the poor people they don't have a 401k. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
With them being, out of touch and and just want to be a part of that, then you have the people that are in the market. Then together, that's a hell of a force. But when you say, look at me, don't judge me. Just basically look at your 401k. You're making more money. Money is a very powerful thing. It's right up there next to air, I would say, right? Wouldn't you say that?
The desire for money could be very seductive.
Right. So think about this. I'm just hoping, especially, that, Trump don't say, listen, poor white folks. I'm talking to y'all, poor white folks. How about if we just make all the brown folks slaves? Now all y'all could be rich.
Oh, no.
Why don't we just make them all slaves and all? Because really, slavery was had a whole lot to do with money and economics. You know that, right?
That's all it was.
Yeah.
That's all it was, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, listen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have little Ronnie and little Richard, 3 years old, 6 years old, they playing together, little black boy, little white boy, they playing together and they having a good time. And all of a sudden, the black boy teaches little Ronnie how to fish and, how to throw the ball and catch the ball. Now they're 10 years old and they having a good time. Now they're 18 years old. And the white boy say, hey, little Ronnie, I'm down with you, cool, but you got to go out there and pick that cotton. I mean, somebody got to do it because your skin black, hey, I'm trying to get rich. Now, that's pure economic. Now, he liked the black boy. He really do. But money gets in the way, right? People can say they love you, get broke, and see how much love going to be flowing in the house. Right?
You're absolutely
I've always
correct.
said it takes more than love.
Yeah, you sure have, London. That ain't what the scriptures say.
Well, now there was a line in a play where the young lady told the guy that she was about to leave, that she was leaving because he lost his job, and he said, "Well, wait a minute, you just told me that you love me. I was the best thing you ever had. You were so glad to be with me, and now you're leaving." She said, "Well, where there is no money, there can be no love." That's in the Bible.
Whoa. And that's the truth, right? And they say the truth hurts. So my point is, if everything is about money, everything, a woman selling her body, she don't want to do that. She's on that pole, but she needs the money. She's trying to go to college. And she doesn't really want to do that, but she needs to get on that pole so she can get some money. And so money really makes people do things that they shouldn't do and keep them from doing things that they should also, correct?
Well, that's the same thing we talked about. It's the same attributes for fear.
Yes, same attributes. All of it's in the same negativity, actually, could be. Now, that's why when people say, Rob, what do you think about the market? I think the market is going to continue to go up, especially during the election year. I really do. And things are being put in place for the market. Now, it's still going to be volatile, yeah, but I think they're trying to get it not to 30,000. I think they're trying to get it to 35,000. If they can get it to 35,000 by election, then a lot of people will say, listen, I might not like this guy, but I'm making money. And when you put money in a way, then all values, morals, a whole lot of things go out the window. I mean, it does not, because fair, what is fair? It's like fair, what is fair? I have the money. You don't. I'm in charge. I mean, it reminds me in the Romans, right?
Yeah, he who has the gold makes the rule.
Exactly. That's my point. He who has the gold makes the rule. We're going to take William. Also, I want to go into the stock market more to let you know what I think, what's going on. I do think that that the market will correct. And matter of fact, it will, because think about it. If you go to a buffet and you're eating and your food is good and flowing, all of us have to go to the restroom. Somebody got to say, excuse me. I'll be right back. Right? Let's take William. William, you on the line, William? William, we can hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Gentlemen.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm just tuning in. Keep it going.
All right, William.
This is your first time, correct?
Mr. Allen, yes, sir.
Well, I just want to go ahead in the spirit of full disclosure. This is a gentleman that I know well, and he hadn't been introduced to the radio program, and I asked him to break his habit and get up early and listen to us and be introduced to understanding money, because he is in financial services.
Wow.
And I wanted to make sure that he got a chance to do this, because I'm going to recruit him into the Henderson Financial Group family.
And William, you actually call. They say most people are scared to dickens to call and be on the radio. And you did it, brother.
Okay, no, definitely not scared of money. Can't be scared of money.
No, to talk on the radio, I mean.
Well, it's to talking on the telephone, so I won't have to. I can even play that off.
It's a mind thing, right? It's a mind thing. Yeah. All right, I appreciate you.
Well, good morning, young brother. Thank you so much for doing that. And please listen, continue to listen, and we'll see what the Understanding Money Show has to actually contribute to what it is you're doing already.
Well, I tell you what, that word got my full attention.
Okay, you got it. All right, brother.
Have
Thanks
a good
for calling
one.
in.
All right.
Okay. Matter of fact, let's give out the telephone number to this WNMA 1210 The Man hotline, so they can call. So people can call in like William and let us know. They can get in on the conversation. The hotline here is 786-633-5927, 786-633-5927. Today's show, rather we take this break, we're going to be talking about how to use the equity in your home more wisely. And Keith, Linda, some people have said, Robert, you sure against paying off your house? No, I'm not. It's the method, the way you pay off your house. I think that it's better to have money to instantly pay off your house outside of the equity, the money that's in the ground in your house. And I'm going to explain that. I'm going to elucidate that when we come back out of this break. We got to take a station break. You're listening to Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, Linda V. Harris, my sister-in-law, business partner, and Professor Keith here, right here next to me, riding out. We'll be right back after the station break. Don't you touch that dial, because I want to kind of change your perception, because they say, Keith, Linda, the hardest thing for mankind to do is to what? Think.
Change.
No, think.
Think comes before change.
The hardest thing for a human to do is think. So we want to get you to thinking when we come back after the station break. Okay, we'll be right back.
Okay.
We're back live. Robert Henderson Jr., certified financial planner, Linda V. Harris, vice president of Henderson Financial Group, and Professor Keith, who's a financial planner, also an insurance advisor. The word is disconcerting, because a lot of things are disconcerting to me, and it should be to you also. And I'm spelling disconcerting as D as in David, I as in Idaho, S as in Sam, C as in Charlie, O as in Ocean, N as in Nancy, C as in Charlie, E as in Easter, R as in Robert, T as in Tom, I as in Idaho, N as in November, G as in George. Disconcerting. Disconcerting means to be unsettled, confusing, perplexed, unexpected. Wouldn't you say a whole lot of things right now in the world taking place is disconcerting?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good word. You like that word, Linda?
I love that word, disconcerting. I tell you.
Very
Seems
disconcerting.
like as soon as I got things figured out, I realized it's extremely disconcerting.
You just got one. Added one into your vocabulary. I know you're going to throw that word out.
Oh, my goodness.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average yesterday closed at 29,348. It was up 50 points yesterday. The S&P 500 all at record highs, and NASDAQ all at record highs. I mean, this thing is really, really rolling. Now, how could it be rolling like that? First of all, interest rates are at all-time low. Unemployment rates are, just really extremely the lowest they've been in decades. So the table has been set. Things have been set so the corporations can make more money. The problem is when the tax change took place, when Trump's new tax laws changed it was supposed to trickle down to everyone. Now, what has happened is when corporations, in other words, they save billions of dollars in taxes. So now, if you're a corporation, Linda, Keith, and all of a sudden when the tax changes take place and all of a sudden you save $20 billion in taxes, are you happy?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Now, the goal is to have the corporation save all of this money and then add employment and give people raises, have a minimum wage go up. But corporations started buying their stocks back. That's what they started, buying their own company stock back. So in other words, Linda, Keith, if you all have a company and your shares were $20 a share, and you know that in the future, your company is valued more. As an owner, as a CEO of a corporation in the board of directors, some of the profits that you have, what you do is you go on the open market and you buy your shares back. Why you buy your shares? Because when you buy your shares, it creates demand, supply and demand, and your stock and the value of your stock go up. Let me give you another way how you can look at that. To become a best-selling record author or even a best-selling record artist, if you sell 500,000 albums or 500,000 songs, you automatically are in the best-selling category. And when you're in the best-selling category, all kind of benefits open up to you. They put your information on the front page. A lot of radio stations have to start playing your music because they only want to play the best-selling music, albums, right? So let's say we come out with a song, Linda, Keith, and Robert, and we call Yankee Doodle Yankee Doodle Dandy, and then nobody's buying it. If we have a lot of money, all we got to do is go buy 500,000 times, 500,000 of that song. If we go and buy it ourselves, we're gonna become bestsellers instantly. You know that?
Absolutely.
So it's a way of making us bestsellers. If you buy back your stock, in other words, if you buy your own record, if you wanna be an author and you wanna have a best-selling book, you put the book out, and if your daddy you have a lot of money, you can buy your own books. Yes, you can.
And give them away.
And give them away. And as long as you sold 500,000 copies, you are in a higher category as a bestseller.
So that's creating hype.
That's creating hype. And so when you're a bestseller, in other words, you took your own money and artificially made yourself a bestseller. Now, what does that have to do with corporations? Corporations, when they have all this money, they go and buy their own shares, which push their own share value up, which makes everybody happy, which makes it seems like the shares are more valuable than they are because we just made our shares go up a double. So when anybody else seeing that from the outside world, oh, look at ABC stock, it's going up. And then you pitch it, buy it. It's the same thing with a book. Some people don't buy books unless they're what? Bestsellers.
Unless they're bestsellers. Some
people don't buy movies. Why you think when they have the Oscars and the Grammys, all this kind of stuff in this movie, and you never even heard of the movie? Do you think some people, after the movie wins an award, they tempted to go out and see the movie?
No, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did y'all just learn something? Does that make sense? Or did y'all already know that what I just said?
Well, we're kind of familiar with folks actually buying stock back because it does actually create what appears to be a scarcity in the marketplace, and everybody wants it. But what that also sets folks up for sometimes is that the reverse of buying low and selling high, because they're buying when it's moving and the prices are inflated.
So if corporations are taking the tax dollars and what they're doing is buying their own shares back, they're not giving raises. The CEOs make money based on the share price. The more the share price goes up for a corporation, the more money CEOs make, and they make millions. It's really artificially hyping up this whole thing. That's why you have a lot of economists that's saying that this thing really is going to come down. Now, you could be negative all you want to, but a lot of people say we're going to ride this thing until the wheels fall off of it. But I don't want people to get beside themselves and think that this is going to be for eternity. When it comes down, it's going to come down hard, because right now, Trump is really brilliant at hyping up the economy. So therefore, you have people, black, brown, that are jumping on the bandwagon. And I'm pretty sure that guy's probably going to get elected. What do you think, Keith?
I think it looks good.
What do you think, Linda?
I think it looks good, too. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, it really does. And the Democrats, they really don't have anything. I don't think the Democrats have anything to offer, because people just can't really, for the most part, most people don't really understand the truth. They really don't. People understand what they see and what they hear and what they feel and what they taste and what they smell. Y'all notice what I use, the five senses?
But yeah, that's what we use to perceive the world. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And if you can dangle that and rattle that and arouse those senses, you pretty much have it made, correct?
Basically, don't make people think too much. Don't make me have to dissect it. Don't make me have to think about it. Don't make me have to go outside those five senses.
Yeah.
Just appeal to those five senses, and you got me.
That's right, and that's what's going on. A lot of people are very unhappy because they don't know what's going on. They don't know how they're being programmed. All they know, they just don't feel good. And that's why if you can do anything to numb yourself, opioids, marijuana, alcohol, I mean, that's why those are the drugs or things of taste to make yourself feel good.
So when and that goes back to what it was you were saying before we talked about the learning for the house situation.
Right, using your equity wisely, paying off your house. Now,
it may make you feel good, but it's not necessarily the best thing to do.
Exactly. Because you've been programmed to, before you retire, that should be one of your main goals. And even if before you retire, and being part of American is American dream, made that American dream, owning a home and paying it off eventually. Now let's think about this. Why do I say that, using your money wisely, the equity in your home, and why some people say, Robert, I'm against that. I'm not against that. I am against taking a lot of your money, paying extra, and having a goal to pay off your house. Now, think about that. You've paid off your house. 30 years you paid it off. Matter of fact, you paid it off in less than 30 years because you was making extra payments. Now what do you have? You have nothing. You really don't have nothing. The next day when you paid the house off, you still have the same bedroom, still the same four walls. The only thing is that you don't have any cash in the bank. You don't have any cash at all. You're broke, really. And then when you retire, you have no control over the cash in those four walls. You can't use them. It's like dead money. It's not growing for you. You have no access to it. And if you do want to get at it, you got to qualify. You got to be judged. You have to have a job. You have to have good credit. And you put the money in there. How could that be? I think that it's better, instead of paying your house off, in other words, taking the money and giving it to the mortgage company so you have nothing, I think it's better to take that same attitude, but save it outside of your house. Have the same, in other words, if you owe $200,000 and your goal is to pay off your mortgage for $200,000, don't give it to the mortgage company. Pay the $200,000 and put it in another asset. If you put it in another asset that you cannot lose, but that's going to grow, isn't the same thing? What would you rather have? A paid off house with $200,000 that you dump money into, or have $200,000 outside of your paid off house? If you have that, then you have options. You're really not in debt, Keith, Linda, if you owe $30,000 on a credit card, or if you owe $30,000 on a mortgage, or if you owe $30,000 to anyone, but in your mutual fund, in your stock account, in your insurance cash value, you have $30,000. Are you in debt? No. You're not in debt.
Well, I can hear people already saying, I just don't want a monthly payment. And to them, paying off their house represents debt-free, represents I'm retired, I'm on a fixed income, I don't have to worry about paying a mortgage. I hear that. I don't know if y'all hear it, but I hear the people saying that.
But Linda, you hear that is because, and they hear that is because they haven't heard anything better. That's all
Absolutely.
They've heard.
Mm-hmm.
You agree?
Absolutely.
You agree, Keith?
But is there actually a way to be able to accomplish both those things?
Yes. Yes. Linda.
Yes, sir.
Keith. There is a lady that had $140,000. $140,000 in the bank. For the whole year, the bank gave her $77 in interest. Now, to this lady, she thinks that's the best, that's all she has. She put it in the bank, it's safe, and they give her $77 in interest on $140,000. She come to us and I say, listen, why don't we take that same $140,000, put it in another asset class, and now it's going to pay you 9%. Just like that. So $77 versus $13,000 or so. Which is better? She didn't know because all she knew is the bank and $77. She sat there and said, this is the best I could do. I don't know. It's all I heard. She didn't hear that if she took that same $140,000, she can take the same $140,000 at 9% and get much more.
Another zero.
What, 12,000? 140,000 times 9% is $12,600 a year. Now what? So same.
So actually, what you're saying is, if she just moved it to another asset class, $12,000 for the year would actually give her $1,000 a month to pay for a house.
That's right. So you figure if that $140,000 buried in your house, equity. Now you feel good, sentimental value, but you're not using what you have. You're not being a good steward of what you have. And the reason why you're not, because you don't know any better. You're not asking, you're not seeking, you're not knocking. And you're afraid. Because they have not made it fashionable, or you haven't heard your neighbors and your friends and your colleagues and everybody saying having money buried in your home is no good. Nobody's talking about that. Now the rich people talking about that, the wealthy people, the smart people talking about that, but you surrounded by people who only thing they want to do is brag about having equity in their home. It's better to have equity outside of your home. In other words, if you owe right now, if your mortgage is $300,000 and your desire is, man, I just want to be able to just pay extra. If I can pay extra and hurry up and get this mortgage down, I don't mind you saying that. I just want you to take that same tenacity, that same that same urgency, and instead of taking that extra money, paying it to the mortgage company, I want you to take that same extra money and put it outside your mortgage. You can put it in another investment that make sure you don't lose the money. And I ain't gonna tell you what investment that you can put it in on the air. You have to call me. You have to call me where you won't lose a dime, and it grows tax free. Now, what if you hurrying up to pay off the mortgage outside of the mortgage? Because when you pay that $200,000-$300,000 and hurry up outside the mortgage, you do have the money. Now you may say, listen, I still owe $300,000, but you got $300,000 in another plan, and it's earning you. And on top of that, every time you're paying extra to this other asset class, they're giving you compound interest. Every time you're paying to pay off your mortgage, are they paying you interest?
Absolutely not.
Right.
Absolutely not.
And very often, Robert, your mortgage payment interest is higher than what you'll be earning. In other words, you're earning 9% on that investment, and the mortgage may be lower. So why not get the money from the 9% to pay off the house in a lower interest? You know what I'm saying?
If you're gonna part your ways with your money, why would you put money in a black hole that's not giving you nothing? You just paying off the mortgage. You might as well pay off the mortgage in another way. You might as well take that money and put it in something that's going to extra give you 9%. So it's going to be working compound for you.
Right.
Anybody hear me out there?
We hear you.
We got a caller.
We got a caller. Let's get this caller. Caller, you got a question or comment?
Good morning, Miss Linda V, Mr. Henderson, and Professor Keith.
Oh, I know this voice. How you doing, Ronnie?
How are you?
I am doing wonderful. I just want to let you know that I'm connected, I'm listening, and first of all, I want to let you know I'm so proud of your baby girl, Mr. Henderson.
Oh, yeah. Isn't she doing good?
Oh, my goodness. I couldn't believe it. I mean, she did a wonderful job. Also, Mr. Keith, you did a wonderful job as well.
Well, I would do thank you for that. Thank you so much.
And Ronnie, you know, I would say 6-7 years, Hyacinth could not get up and speak in front of people. She was scared.
Wow. Wow.
But boy,
Wow.
now you can't shut her up, can you?
Well, I've been with you for a while, so I remember that little girl.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
she was so afraid to take the mic and even say her name. Now,
Oh
woo.
my goodness, she's so wonderful. Mr. Henderson, the way you break things down, the analogies that you use. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm learning so much, especially today. Today is a wonderful program, and I want to thank you so very much
And I
for
thank you.
sharing. I mean, on a Saturday, I walk around feeling so wonderful and so educated financially.
Oh,
You
I'm so.
really, really, really make me feel good. Thank you so much.
I thank you. I thank you for listening. But what when I said, do people get that? I mean, that makes sense. That right? If you're going to be pouring money and trying to hurry up and pay something off, you should be getting some overtime, or you should be getting some help. I mean, why pay it and give it to the bank or the mortgage company, and then when you pay it, when you're trying to pay your mortgage off, your monthly payment is not going down. They're going to keep your monthly payment the same. So in other words, if you owe $300,000 and all of a sudden you say, here, bank, here, mortgage company, here's $50,000. Now I only owe not $300,000, but I just gave you $50,000. Now I only owe a balance of $250,000. Your monthly payment still stay the same as if you gave them no money, right?
Well, absolutely. But here's the question, or at least the conundrum, or the thing that leaves us disconcerted about that.
Disconcerting.
Is sometimes what happens is when somebody's operating in from a particular perspective, and you offer them something new, they actually start to believe that either where they are is invalidated, or they've got to give it up completely in order to accept something else. And usually that's a hard choice to make. So in other words, even for me, when just being introduced to the concept that a house was built to hold people,
Not money. Right.
money, was like, that took a little while for that to be digested. House is to hold people
and your family,
not to hold money.
Right. Your money should be working for you all the time. Money shouldn't sleep. And you shouldn't be draining your tank. In other words, you shouldn't be saving, $50,000, $100,000, and then when you need something, go actually withdraw from that money. You shouldn't be draining your tank. If you save $50,000, $100,000, you should do just like the wealthy people. Use your money that you have as collateral to get what you want. I want to say that again.
But once again, that's an advanced concept, and if it goes against everything else that you've already been taught, it takes a minute for that to actually sink in.
Yeah, but you got to know there can be no growth unless there is change. So if you want to do better, wherever you're thinking up to wherever you are right now, if you want to go further, you got to change. You can't, wherever you are, what has gotten you where you are right now, you used everything, all your sense, all your understanding to get you to this point. Now, if you need to go further, you can't rely on the thoughts and the education that you have to this point to take you further. No, you got to get what? More fuel. You got to get more learning. You got to get more ammunition. Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you're driving your car and you're going 50 miles an hour, so you know just how much pressure you're putting on the pedal, right? If you want to go faster, do you take your foot off the pedal or you push it a little harder? You got to push it. You got to push it a little harder. See, now think about that. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand that. Anytime you want more, you got to think differently. You got to do more. If you want the car to go faster than 10 miles an hour, you got to put a little bit more in that pedal. Now you're going to see yourself moving faster. Don't be like, oh my God, I'm going faster. If you don't want to go faster, just take your foot off the pedal. If you don't want more money, if you don't want a better life, just start watching Netflix. Do nothing else. Don't go to work. Don't do nothing. Just sit there and watch TV. You ain't getting no more brains. You ain't getting no new thought. So and the people who have paid their home off, I feel kind of bad for you because you stuck. Now, you shouldn't be stuck. Now, some people say, I'm afraid because I don't want to have a mortgage. Well, you don't. If you have a home and you have $400,000 and $500,000 equity in that house, and you're not working, and you're on fixed income, man, there's some strategy that you can actually use that's going to guarantee that you don't lose no money, and then going to get you $2,000-$3,000 cash flow every month. And then when you get ready to go to heaven, there'll be insurance to pay off everybody. Now that's doing something. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Man, it's a lot of strategy out there. But when you have fear, or you're leaning on, fear or doubt, and you're not in the right place, you're not trying to get a new thought, or you don't even know, or you're afraid. I had a lady come in the office earlier this week. This lady, she looked at me and she said she wanted to come see me because she wanted to know if I was a Christian. Was I saved? And I said, okay, what do you see? She said, oh, you seem like you are. And she was referred to me. And she came in and she said that she's getting ready to retire, and she don't want to take no risk. She said she don't like annuities. And I said, well, do you know much about annuities? She said she just don't like them. She wants to roll her money over, but she don't want the stock market. And she don't like annuities. And she don't like insurance. So I'm trying to figure out what does she like? and first of all, when I was in Arizona at this financial conference, I'm going to be in another one in like the first 3-4 months of the year. They have these big conferences all over the country, and you go to, financial strategy meetings. But, I was in Arizona, and this wealth advisor out of California, very successful, handle a lot of, billions of dollars, this guy. He says when he do his financial planning, when clients come in, he do not use product names. He don't say stock. He don't say mutual funds. He don't say ETFs. He don't say life insurance. He don't use the word annuities. He say he don't use none of that. When he do his planning, he say, what do you need? What do you want? What are your goals? The person say, okay, I want to have this money where I can get so much money coming in. I don't want to worry about it. I want to be able to, if I need it, some money I want to keep it for a long time for my children, for legacy. So when when the client described what they need, then he says, okay, I got some for that. I got some for that. But if he starts saying an annuity, or if he starts saying a life insurance, or if he starts saying a stock, they say, I don't want that. People like what things do, certain investment does, but they just don't like the name. That's because they've been programmed. You got Fisher, Fisher or Susie Orman or Dave Ramsey say, don't buy annuities. Now, Social Security is an annuity.
Is an annuity.
Who don't want Social Security benefits coming in every month? Anybody don't want that?
Well, the point is you're not understanding what it is.
Right.
But Social Security is very definitely an annuity.
Is annuity. That a pension. If you work 30 years and you say, I'm done, no mas, and they're going to pay you for the rest of your life, we think they're paying you from the stock market? No. That money goes into an annuity. An annuity is an instrument that guarantees a stream of income for the rest of your life. That's it. Now, who don't want that? I don't care, call it whatever you want to call it. So that's why this guy don't say, he says he don't use names. He just say, what do you need? That's what he does. Here is something that will give you what you need. Because names get in the way. It's like somebody say, listen, I need a woman. Okay? You bring a woman. Oh no, she black. Man, you say you need a woman. I need a woman. I need a man.
She's short.
He's short. You say you needed a man, but he's short. Oh, you say you hungry. They bring you some Chinese food. You say you don't want that.
I don't eat that.
But I don't know. You think a homeless hungry man won't eat no Chinese food? I think a homeless hungry man. If you really hungry, are you gonna say no? I don't want hamburger. I want a steak.
Well. Now I do remember clearly that there was a gentleman who was outside a chicken restaurant, and he was asking folks if they please help him with a meal, and somebody went in and actually came out and brought him a little box, and he opened the box and said, "What? No biscuit?" So no matter where you are, there is an opportunity to be particular.
No, my point is when think about it. I'm using this analogy, like Ronnie said. Yeah, I like to use analogies. I used to think I was strange until I started reading the Bible, and I seen another person was using a lot of metaphors. Also, Jesus, when he was talking to the 12 disciples. If you're hungry and you starving, and someone bring you some food, do you tell them I don't eat that? Listen, I haven't had pork. I don't eat pork. I haven't had pork. I'm 61 years old. I haven't ate pork since I was 19 years old. Let me tell you something. If I am homeless, if I am in the desert, if I'm in the jungle and I'm stranded and a pig walk by, I'm going to jump on him. I'm going to jump on him and I'm going to eat the oink out of him. I'm going to eat his neck, his eyes. I'm going to eat his tail. I'm going to eat his feet. I'm going to eat everything. You think I'm going to be starving and a pig walk by and I'm going to say, no, I don't eat pork and die? No. I'm going to eat his ears. I'm going to eat pig feet that night. And I don't eat pig feet. So
I think what I hear you saying, Robert, is labels get in the way.
Labels.
Like you said, labels get in the way. And based on what we heard, and she heard about annuities, everything you described is what she wants, or the example you gave from your colleague. But labels get in the way.
And in this case, though, perhaps, okay, so she was hungry. She knew that there was
right.
She wanted to eat. But
right.
But guess what it sounds like but she didn't recognize that she was hungry.
No, what she needed, like Linda said, labels got in the way. What she needed, she came to me. She didn't have a lot of money, but she told me she didn't want to take no risk. She wanted a stream of income. She wanted it guaranteed. That's the stock market, even though it's up and down, that ain't no guarantee. So when she said that, I had to veto it. I had to move that away. So when she said she want to make sure she don't lose her principal, the only way you don't lose your principal is insurance. It's something that's fixed, guaranteed. It's insured. You won't lose a CD, but a CD you won't lose your principal. But CD's paying you little or nothing.
So you're still losing money.
Yeah, but then she came in. That's like somebody saying, that's like me being stranded and I'm out on an island, stranded, and a pig walked by and I say, well, I don't eat pig. And then a cow walked by and I say, well, I don't eat meat. You know? Now, some people say, Robert, it's an island, you eat fish. Okay, I'm not on an island, I'm in the jungle. Now, I'm in the jungle. No water around, no fish around. And I'm a pescatarian. I just eat fish, seafood, and vegetables. But if out of necessity, in order to survive, get me what I need so my heart can keep pumping and I can be alive so I can try to survive. I'm going to eat the bugs. I'm not going to be selective. I'm going to get what I need. And that's my point. We need to start, take away these labels, take away all of these images and say, what do you need? And that's what the financial advisor in California does. He says, matter of fact, any of his employees use product name, they're fired. He says, nobody use labels. Don't say, what do you need? That's what you need. That's like being a carpenter and having a toolbox and say, you don't want to use a hammer. That doesn't make sense. If you want to be a great builder, you got to use all the tools that's in the box. You can't be prejudiced against a screwdriver. You can't be prejudiced against a hammer because one day you use the hammer and it hit your thumb and now for the rest of your life you're not going to use the hammer and you're a builder? What kind of sense is that?
Well, that's why I tell a lot of women when they say they want a man that's supportive, that's a good provider, that's kind, and they find that man and they say, but he happens to be Caucasian. Well, you just described, you're looking at the label, you're looking at this color of the skin. This man is everything that you just described, but you letting the color of the skin get in the way, that label. So sometimes we got to get out of our own way.
Most of the time, it trickles right down to having no cash flow, not living the life that you should be living, but you have all this money tied up and you busting your butt. Some people right now listening to me, first, they're getting ready to retire in 5 years. They just want to pay off that house. They're taking extra money instead of putting that money outside of their house so they can have the money. See, if you have the money saved up outside of your house, you can just easily pay off your house when you want to. But it's better to have your money, piling up money every month, paying it out, investing it outside your house, especially if you're not going to lose it, and getting interest, because the interest, compound interest, is going to help you in your goal. If you need to pay off $300,000 with compound interest, you might only have to pay off $200,000. You're gonna get $100,000 in interest over the last 10 years. So that's what you should do. Why pay off all? Because when you pay money to the mortgage, you got to pay all $300,000. They're not giving you any interest for every time you pay. But if you pay it outside, instead of having to pay off $300,000, you might only have to pay off $200,000 because you got $100,000 in compound interest over 10 years. You see what I'm saying? And then at that, then you can take it and say, okay, here's my $300,000, bam, one shot and pay. But then you don't want to do that. We call that draining the tank. You want to borrow off that $300,000, then pay off that mortgage and still keep your $300,000. Right. Boy, that's a strategy.
So you've always got money.
So you always got money. Oh man, we got to go. I see Rosie and Don Daly. Oh man.
Phone number
to the office. And when you come to my office, we're not going to talk about product. We're going to talk about what do you need? What's your goals and your objectives?
What's it gonna take to get you where you want to go?
That's right. And you tell me you don't eat no pork. I'm gonna give you that stuck in the jungle labels. You eat to survive. Telephone number at the office is 305-825-1444. 305-825-1444. The conversation today, I want to come back because I want to give you listeners a new thought. I just want you to think about something outside the box, because a lot of us don't realize how much we're being programmed. We think it's us. We thought that. No, you didn't. You didn't think that. Somebody told you that, and that's all you know. So in order to change, you got to think a new thought. Keith?
I think that's true. Yeah.
Linda?
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
All right, give us some parting words.
Parting words. Check out our website, www.thehendersonfinancialgroup.com. Our office number, 305-825-1444. Consultation is free, 1 hour. Robert has that hourglass on his desk. 1 hour it is, but it is free.
Fantastic. You guys have a fantastic weekend. As a matter of fact, the markets will be closed on Monday in observance of MLK, Martin Luther King Day. We got to go. Peace, love, and happiness.
Enjoy.